What's up, guys? This is Josh here. I just wanted to go over a trade from this week that I had on IRBT here, which was a pretty popular ticker. I saw a lot of people talking about it on Twitter and in chat rooms all day on Friday and even a couple days before that. And I did pretty well on this trade, so I just figured it would be a pretty good trade to review. This is one of my favorite strategies. It's called a liquidity trap, and it has a little bit of hot sector theme involved in it. So I just figured this would be a really good trade to go over. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the ticker is IRBT. It is a robotic stock. They released earnings over here on November 6th, and these earnings were really not good. As you can see, after they announced, they gapped down and just kind of faded off. And then here on December 1st, they put out an 8K. Over here, we'll go to Ask Edgar. I've got it preloaded. Ask Edgar is great. It can just summarize the filings for me. And basically, this filing was talking about how they might need to go bankrupt. And you can see they popped and dropped on December 1st. But on December 3rd, the White House started talking about robots. As you can see this article here, after AI push, Trump administration is now looking to robots. You can see this came out on December 3rd. And once this news hit the street, you can see that IRBT popped, traded on significant volume here, 228 million shares on the day. Another robotic stock, Serve, popped as well. RR popped as well. And Kit popped as well. So lots of interest in the robotic stocks after that word from the White House came out. And then we'll go back over here to Ask Edgar, and we will see that IRBT has a 41% float short, which means that a lot of people are shorting the stock. And we don't even really need to look at that to know that, because a stock that's supposedly announcing bankruptcy and then popping like this is just going to attract a lot of people that want to short the stock, because it's only up because of what Trump is saying, and they're still the shitty company. So why is it up this much? That's the logic behind the short. But we were going long on this stock, and I am going to show you why. So it had this first big day here where it went from the 150s up into the mid threes, creating a lot of range, sucking in a lot of shorts. We traded massive volume compared to the days before. And then we'll see here on this second day, it was trading significantly lower volume than before. And this is what creates the liquidity trap. And as you can see, I picked up on that pretty early and was able to have a pretty good trade. So right in here, I started buying it because I already could tell that it was trading way less volume this morning compared to the day one, but it still was just not breaking down, and it was kind of building. So I figured it would be a good idea to start taking a small position here. On liquidity traps, I typically like to wait more for after hours and pre-market the day of the actual trap. But I was feeling a little bit of FOMO and was kind of thinking that this thing might just start going on its day two. So I just decided to take a small position just in case it started pushing, and I could still make a few $100 on a small position if I had to. But as we'll see, it just kind of went sideways for the rest of the day. I bought some more lower here. I bought some more before after hours was finished, and then I bought the last bit of my position in pre-market on the day of the trap. I ended up having a 3.00 average on the trade, and my average sell was 396. It made it as high as 495, which I could have done a little bit better, but I was risking 280 from 3, so I made 96 cents on 20 cents risk. That is a trade I will take time and time again. So I'll get a little bit more into like how you can actually spot these things. So we'll go back over to the Webull app over here. And I'm going to open a 5-day, 5-minute chart. So this is the day one move where it gets a lot of shorts excited. Short sellers are going to be putting their stop losses near the highs of the day just because, that's what people like to do. They like to use clear points as their stop loss, and I am just aware of that. So this is actually where I bought it right here for the first time. I think the first buy was 310. So here I'm kind of thinking that this little wedge might start to push, and these short sellers that are going to be stopping out are going to get nervous. But as we can see, that did not happen, and we faded off, and I started buying more. And as this consolidation continues, we can kind of see that no volume is coming in. So no one is really selling the stock, but all these short sellers are still going to be involved because they just haven't covered yet. You can just tell by the volume. And then as the price starts to creep up on low volume near these levels, it creates a situation where the people that are going to be stopping out of their short up here, they're going to be really, really nervous and have to make a decision on whether or not this thing is worth holding short, because the lack of volume does not really give them someone to cover into, which is what kind of creates this gradual creep up. And then as we start really testing the 370s, it just starts going crazy because all of these shorts are underwater. They see that there's no volume, and all it really takes is a few people with a couple million shares short to really get this thing going, and that is exactly what happened. And you just sell this into the squeeze. It's pretty hard to know exactly how high it's going to go. I was kind of thinking of this weekly level here at 435, 430 as a good target, because you can just see that it's topped out here a bunch, and there's probably some leftover liquidity there that needs to be reached in the book. So that's kind of why you can tell that I was selling all in there. And yeah, thanks for watching. This is my first trade review, so I'm hoping that these will get a little bit better in the future, but I just wanted to share my thoughts. And if you have any questions, feel free to just comment on this video. All right, thank you. Bye.